See, this is when you know you're dealing with a fake person when it comes to Christianity. Now, Pastor Sewell sat there and talked about, how Trump, he came here and he prayed for him, and Trump talked about how great of a pastor he was. Why did Pastor Sewell ask him to expound on this? This was a question the Republican pollster Frank Luntz asked Trump in 2015. And if you want to see a narcissist who straight up lies about being a Christian, watch this.
You used the word Christian. Have you ever asked God for forgiveness? That's a tough question. I don't think in terms of, I'm a religious person. Shockingly, because people are so shocked when they find this out, I'm Protestant, I'm Presbyterian. And I go to church and I love God and I love my church. And Norman Vincent Peale, the great Norman Vincent Peale, was my pastor. The Power of Positive Thinking. Everybody's heard of Norman. He would give a sermon you never wanted to leave. Sometimes we have sermons, and every once in a while we think about leaving a little early, right, even though we're Christian. Dr. Norman Vincent Peale, Frank, would give a sermon. I'm telling you, I still remember his sermons. It was unbelievable. And what he would do is he'd bring real-life situations, modern day...
Stop. I still remember his sermons. Y'all, that fool can't name one sermon. He can't give you no title. He can't give you no context. Y'all know he lying. He's straight lying. Y'all want to hear more stupidity? Listen to this.
For his sermons. It was unbelievable. And what he would do is he'd bring real-life situations, modern-day situations, into the sermon. And you could listen to him all day long. When you left the church, you were disappointed that it was over. He was the greatest guy. And then, he passed away, but he was a great... He wrote The Power of Positive Thinking, which is a great book.
But have you ever asked God for forgiveness?
I'm not sure I have. I just go and try and do a better job from there. I don't think so. I think
Oh my God, I just try to do a better job from there. The man is a liar. Lightning should have struck his ass at that very moment. I got to play the rest of this stupidity, y'all.
I'm not sure I have. I just go and try and do a better job from there. I don't think so. I think if I do something wrong, I think I just try and make it right. I don't bring God into that picture. I don't. Now, when I take...
Freeze. Hold on. I don't bring God into that picture. Oh, I'm a Christian. I'm a Pentecost. What do you say? Presbyterian. I don't bring God. Y'all see why that fool held the Bible upside down? Press play.
I just try and make it right. I don't bring God into that picture. I don't. Now, when I take, when we go in church and when I drink my little wine, which is about the only wine I drink, and have my little cracker, I guess that's a form of asking for forgiveness.
Stop. Oh my God. Stop. Did that fool just say, did that fool just say, having the Last Supper, which he describes as my little cracker and my little wine? Mm-hmm. And then, y'all, he did the sign of the cross. Do y'all know any non-Catholics who do the sign of the cross? I don't know no non-Catholics who do the sign. Y'all press play.
Which is about the only wine I drink, and have my little cracker. I guess that's a form of asking for forgiveness, and I do that as often as possible because I feel cleansed.
Freeze right there. Oh my God. Okay, all right. I do that as often as possible because I feel cleansed. Anybody who goes to church knows how many times This fool thinks they hand out wine and crackers at least 3 times a week. Oh, I do it as much as I can because I feel cleansed. Play the rest.
To me, that's important. Right. I do that. But in terms of officially, I could say absolutely, and everybody. I don't think in terms of that. I think in terms of let's go on and let's make it right.
He has no idea what the hell Frank Luntz was asking him. Right. No idea. But you got to remember, this the same fool who was asked this question and listen to this answer.
Okay. You mentioned the Bible. You've been talking about how it's your favorite book. And you said, I think last night in Iowa, some people are surprised that you say that. I'm wondering what 1 or 2 of your most favored Bible verses are and why.
I wouldn't want to get into it because to me that's very personal. You know, when I talk about the Bible, it's very personal. So I don't want to get into verses. I don't want to get into...
There's no verse that means a lot to you that you think about or cite?
The Bible means a lot to me, but I don't want to get into specifics.
Even to cite a verse that you like? No,
I don't want to do that.
You're an Old Testament guy or a New Testament guy?
Probably equal. I think it's just an incredible... The whole Bible is an incredible... I joke very much so. They always hold up the Art of the Deal. I say my second favorite book of all time. But I just think the Bible is just something very special.
Boy, come... That's what Pastor Sewell should have been talking about. He should have been saying, Donald, why are you a fraudulent Christian? Niambi, go ahead.
I mean, I think, look, Donald Trump knows that he has to mention Christianity, but it is very clear that it is uncomfortable for him, that this is not a genuine part of his life. I mean, it's never been part of his MO. And if you listen to if you see what he's done, right, you don't just have to listen to what he says. You've seen what he's done. He doesn't behave like any Christian I've ever seen. So I think we need to dispense with this sort of charade that Donald Trump cares about Christianity or the church. He cares about power. Christians are a means to an end for him. So he has to profess some kind of familiarity in order to get those people aboard. But it is very clear this man hasn't seen church and church seen him. And, you know, every Sunday, I guess, is Communion Sunday for Donald Trump and in his mind. But I mean, this man is a liar, and he even lies about the most basic parts of him,
and
which is his spirituality.
And that's why these conservative, right-wing, so-called Christian evangelicals are flat out stuck on stupid, supporting this man, Makongo.
And I think they're supporting him at the end of the day because they simply see him as a tool and a vehicle to get the power that they want, to get the racist power that they want, to get the power over women that they want. I mean, I'm trying to imagine, like, what would happen if there was someone out there pretending to be Muslim like this, you know, or pretending to be Jewish or pretending to be something like, how much they would call him out and condemn this man for being a liar and a fraud and a phony. But so many so-called, you know, Christian evangelicals, white ones, and the Reverend Sewells of the world are embracing him simply because they look at him as a tool to bring America back to some ancient biblical times in terms of the power that they want to have. And that's why they're going to go along for the ride. And it's really tragic. It's really shameful. But I feel like this is a time right now. We're kind of going off on the last segment. All Christians need to stand up. Take your Christianity back. Forget about make America great again. Take your Christianity back from this liar and charlatan.
Well, and that's why what you have is you have these fraudulent individuals, Julian, and the folks at the Lincoln Project. They put this ad together, which actually I think pretty much says it all.
Proud to be promoting the God Bless the USA Bible. That's my favorite book.
I could stand in the middle of Fifth Avenue and shoot somebody.
Donald Trump found guilty all 34 counts of falsifying business records.
Donald Trump's hush money payments to adult film star Stormy Daniels.
He had an affair with Trump.
I am the chosen one.
The Trump Organization frauded the state of New York.
$354 million.
I'm very greedy.
We must make America pray again.
How
how stupid are the people of the country to believe this crap?
Don't get conned.
Right on to the Lincoln Project. It's a great ad. It really summarizes everything that Crooked Man is about. But this is more than this, guys. We know that this man is not only a liar, he's a certified public liar. And it's gone on and on and on. I'm concerned about the mental health of the people who support him, even though they know how mucked up his stuff is. I'm concerned about the people who, no matter what the fact pattern is, embrace him. I'm really concerned about those people. Something wrong with them. And I'm concerned that we, Roland, you do, of course, an amazing job, and we always have a great panel to talk about these things. But the fact is that we can talk all we want. There's a hardcore set of Republicans who don't care. Like, he could shoot somebody on Fifth Avenue. He could have 34 felony convictions on his taxes. I mean, he could do all this, and they're okay with it. And that's my concern.
Yeah.
I don't know how we turn them around.
Well, no, first of all, here's the deal. Here's one thing. We don't turn them around. We expose the lies. That's what we do. We expose them. And we also mock the fools who believe this fool is a Christian. I came across this video, and I just there are a couple of clips in here that I had not, one I had not seen, but here's another 3 minutes of just laughter, and then we'll close this out. Watch this.
The Bible. You talked about The Art of the Deal, great book. The Bible, even better. Why is that for you?
There's so many things. Like, you take whatever you want to say. There's so many things that you can learn from it. Proverbs, the chapter, never bend to envy. I've had that thing all of my life where people are bending to envy. And it's an incredible book. So many things you can learn from the Bible, and you can lead your life. And I'm not just talking in terms of religion. I'm talking in terms of leading a life, even beyond a religion. There's so many brilliant things in the Bible, and
I'm wondering what one or two of your most favored Bible verses are and why.
I wouldn't want to get into it because to me that's very personal. When I talk about the Bible, it's very personal, so I don't want to get into verses. I don't want to get into.
There's no verse that means a lot to you that you think about or cite.
The Bible means a lot to me, but I don't want to get into specifics.
Favorite authors?
Well, I have a number of favorite authors. I think Tom Wolfe is excellent.
Did you read Vanity of the Bonfires?
I did not.
It's a phenomenal book.
What book are you reading now?
Yeah.
Well, I'm reading
Bonfire of the Vanities.
I'm reading my own book again because I think it's so fantastic, Tom.
Is there a favorite Bible verse or Bible story that has informed your thinking or your character through life, sir?
Well, I think many. I mean, when we get into the Bible, I think many, so many. And people talk an eye for an eye. You can almost say that. That's not a particularly nice thing. But, if you look at what's happening to our country, I mean, when you see what's going on with our country, how people are taking advantage of us and how they scoff at us and laugh at us and they laugh at our face. And
what's the best book you've read beside Art of the Deal?
I really like Tom Wolfe's last book, and I think he's a great author. He's done a beautiful job.
Which book?
His current book. His current book. It's just out.
Bonfire of the Vanities.
Yes, and the man has done a very, very good job. And I really can't hear with this earphone, by the way.
And I asked some of the folks because I hear this is a major theme right here. But 2 Corinthians, right? 2 Corinthians 3:17. That's the whole ball game. Where the Spirit of the Lord, right? Where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is liberty. And here there is Liberty College, but Liberty University. But it is so true. When you think, and that's really. Is that the one? Is that the one you like? I think that's the one.
Even to cite a verse.
Oh my God! Oh my God!
The Bible.
Is that the one you like? He told his people, go to the Bible, go to the back and look up liberty, and just find me something that mentions liberty. This is a plumb idiot. You are. And what I need people to understand, Omakongo, is that any of these white right-wing pastors, the crazy antics of Paula, White and all of them, they are all frauds. They are Ed Young in Houston, fraud. The dude in Gateway out of Texas, who inappropriate relationship with a young lady. No, the girl was 12 years old. Oh, hardcore right winger. Franklin Graham, all of it. These are the people who question the Christianity of Obama, but they cover for this satanic individual.
Yeah, I remember a couple of weeks ago, you played this other pastor, white pastor, who was calling out all of these guys for celebrating Trump. He didn't use Trump's name, but he was like, this is not, the American gospel. This is, the Lord's gospel. It's bigger than nations. And all of these frauds need to be called out. They never lose their tax-exempt status, right? And they see this as a hustle as well. And so we need people in the pews to speak out. We need people who are in the communities to speak out, because nobody should feel comfortable with seeing their religion be twisted and utilized in this particular way. And they have made Christianity as central to this campaign as they have abortion, as they've had voting rights and everything else. It should not be as big an issue as it is, but these are people who have nothing else to grasp on, so they're going to grasp onto lies and they're going to grasp on a purity test, even though they have somebody who violates every commandment that is there. He's a hypocrite. They're hypocrites. Once again, when will the real Christians stand up and take Christianity back from them?
And this is also why, Niambi, we cannot allow these people to dare to preach morality and the word to any of us by following this piece of crap.
Oh, absolutely. And I think we have to be more discerning. Everyone who has a Bible, has a church, or even a following doesn't make them right, doesn't make them a good person. This is where our common sense has to come into play, right? I mean, my mom used to say, you could get a Bible and you can lead people anywhere. In some places, they're leading you are to ruin, because if you can countenance a person who will lie, again, about anything, things that are easily figure outable, things that are Googleable, right? Like, a person that will lie like that is very scary. A person who has no kind of regard for basic things like the truth or integrity, who doesn't care about their own sort of ethical responsibilities as a human, forget being the president, has no business serving in any higher capacity, much less in a capacity where he could do a lot of harm to a lot of people. We've seen what he's done already. So never mind those little stimulus checks. Never mind these pastors who are lining up to kiss the ring because they know that there is some gold at the end of that rainbow. Mm-hmm. This man is dangerous, and we have to be very clear about who we're dealing with, and the people that are willing to vouch for this man, to put their personal reputations on the line of this man. You should consider them to just be proxies of this man, and they too are a problem.
Indeed. Makongo, Niambi, I really appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Folks, and don't forget the pastor, Lauren Livingston, who I'm going to close out the show with this, who had this to say about Trump selling that despicable, him literally selling the Bible. But this commentary about this pastor, about this white preacher, on point.
Some of you bring politics into the church. You think that politics is spiritual stuff. Politics is of this world. You think it's your duty to be political about this, that, and the other. No, your duty is to serve the Lord your God with all your heart, mind, soul, body, and strength, and love your neighbor as yourself. Don't be talking to me about my spiritual responsibility to vote. I don't have a spiritual responsibility to vote. I have a civic privilege. Don't be telling me that voting is spiritual. See, that's what happens when you don't read and pray. When you don't read and pray, you say, wow, there's a Bible out now that includes the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. Isn't that wonderful? No. No, it's disgusting. It's blasphemous. It's a ploy. Are you kidding me? Some of you are so encouraged by that. Let me tell you something. The gospel is not an American gospel. It is the gospel of the Lord Jesus Christ. But Pastor, I bought the Bible. Really? You're telling me that you're encouraged because someone took a government, U.S. Constitution, a document that says we are of the people, by the people, and for the people, the people, the people, the people. And you have put it right beside the Word of God, which is eternal, unchanging, which says, of Him, by Him, through Him, to Him, from Him are all things. And you're going to put those together and be happy about it? God forbid. Now, you can get mad if you want to, but I'm going to tell you something. If you glory in that kind of thing, you don't have a prayer life. If you glory in that kind of mess, political mess, you do not know what the Word of God says. I'm going to rear back and tell you something. This is not my home. This world is not my home. I've been sent out just like the 70 were sent out. You've been put here and sent out just like the 70 were sent out. We've been put here as strangers and pilgrims, and we are passing through. I am just walking through. I'm just renting an apartment for a little while in this strange and foreign land. No, sir.
Again, don't allow these charlatans to play the games and think that they can tell us about Scripture, tell us about the Bible, when they are supporting a despicable individual, an insurrectionist, a narcissist, a liar, a thief, all of that. That's who Donald Trump is. And we're going to keep saying that until Election Day.
When COVID happened, poor people were dying at a rate already of 800 people a day. Before COVID, if you went to a funeral every single day, it would take you 600 years to attend all the funerals of the people who will die from the ravages of policy violence, poverty, and low wages in America in just 1 year. It would take you 2 years and 19 days to go to all of the funerals of the people that will die today, and oftentimes silence. Nobody talks about this political genocide, but we are determined today to remember their death and be a resurrection of voting power and voice power like never before.
Economic justice and saving this democracy are deeply connected. We, as a nation, must listen to the demands of the poor, who are pushing and will continue to push political candidates and elected leaders to lift from the bottom so that everybody can rise.
We are the poor, the marginalized, and the underpaid. And we are taking one step forward to say that everybody has a right to live.
Poverty is not the fault of those who are impoverished. It is caused by those who make the policy.
There are over 135 million poor and low-wage, low-income people in this nation.
The biggest block of potential voters by far is low-income, low-wage voters.
I can't afford medicine. Sometimes I have to skip because of the cost.
The farm worker community is tired of the violence imposed upon us by greed, exclusion, and denial of basic human rights.
Those folk that represented by that casket, poor and low-wage workers who are the most moral people in this country because they go to work every day believing, even though going to work is hazardous to their health.
I'm tired of working 70 to 80 hours a week and still not have money for the necessity of bills. I'm tired of getting sick and not being able to go see the doctor. having to make a choice to pay between rent or the light bill or food or clothes.
You cannot claim to care about families and a culture of life and then do everything in your power to rob people of equal access to resources and to force them to live in poverty.
Leadership of both parties had waged war on poor people and low-wage workers.
And this government has treated people experiencing poverty, including their military families, with disdainful, deliberate, malicious neglect.
So the truth is that my son died from poverty.
We refuse to accept poverty as the fourth leading cause of death.
The fourth leading cause of death in this, the richest country in the world.
We march today for our children and the generations to come.
And we need to do it with the loudest voices possible, the biggest actions possible.
We will voice our demands and register our vote.
When we stand up and when we stand together, things change.
There is the electorate that is, and then there is the electorate that should be.
34 million eligible poor and low-income voters did not vote in 2016. If just 20% of those voters in swing states were mobilized around an agenda, they could change the political outcome of every election. So we're launching the most massive voter mobilization and turnout campaign in history of poor and low-wage voters, allies, and religious leaders.
People are dying, but we know it doesn't have to be this way. And so we are calling on everyone to join us in this Poor People's Campaign, a national call for more revival.
We are here, we will be seen, we will be heard, and our power will be felt. We don't need to be an insurrection. We are a resurrection that will be felt across this country. Are you ready? 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 We are a resurrection, and we are ready.